I'm looking after tonight. So we've got beginners Pilates. It's Wednesday the 17th of June. Where does it all go? Okay, Sue. So Sue's got a bit of sciatica playing up at the minute. If there's anything that you find difficult or painful, just do a watered down version. Same for Ruth. More mobility than work when we come into the lower back and glutes, really. Okay, let's get ourselves going. So we can begin seated. Sitting nice and tall for me, please. Lengthening through the spine. We've got family life going on in the background, so do ignore that if they get a bit overexcited from time to time. I'm sure it's the same for everybody else. On the other side of the screen, you've got family in the background. So sitting nice and tall, and just take a moment to settle into your surroundings. So you can feel the mat underneath the seat bones, floor underneath the feet. Take a couple of deep breaths for me, please, filling in through the nose, out through the mouth, breathing into the rib cage. And then as you exhale, drop the chin down towards the chest. And as you inhale, release. And again, chin drops down. And slowly release. Nice and smooth and controlled. You'll just feel that draw gently through tops of the shoulders, base of the neck. And then we can turn and look side to side. Turn this into rotation. Using one hand behind you, one hand onto the opposite knee, and just easing into that twist. And then coming onto the hands and knees. 4-point kneeling position for cat and cow. Rounding up through the back like an angry cat and dropping out like a sway-backed cow. Rounding up and dropping away. Breathing out as you round the back up. Mobilizing the spine to warm up. So if at any point you do have any difficulty with any exercise that causes any back pain, this is a good alternative to do instead. Then we can come up tall through the knees. And we're going to tuck the tail under to create a neutral spine and set the abdominal core. Transverse abdominis is drawing into 30% and pelvic floor is drawing up to floor 3. As you breathe out, the hands come up to shoulder height. As you breathe in, they lower. Keep that lovely posture through the upper back. Shoulder blades stabilised, collarbone open. And we can take the hands a little bit higher if that feels okay. But still keep the core set. transverse abdominis contracted, pelvic floor lifted. And think about that lovely flow of movement. Don't let the rib cage lift. I can see we've got Nicola joined us on Facebook as well. Good evening, Nicola. Okay, and release. And we're going to come onto the hands and knees. Single leg extension. And you're going to bring that knee in. Keep the back in neutral, extend. We're going to do 6 on the same leg. If I change legs so you can see what's happening perhaps a little bit better. You draw the knee in and then push slowly back out to straighten the leg. Make sure the back stays still. 6 on one side, 6 on the other side. Don't go too quick. Warming up through the hip, the knee, keeping that nice alignment, and don't let the hip twist. When we've done 6 and 6, have a rest. When you're finished, sit back for a stretch and reach forwards with the hands. Come back into your 4-point kneeling position. And we're going to bring in the arms for 4-point kneeling swimming. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. As you breathe out, you extend away, opposite arm to leg. Make sure you don't tip and twist as you extend. Particularly as you change from one side to the other. Make sure you don't tip, twist, disengage, and just work on that lovely flow of movement. Straight arm, straight leg. You can keep the hand and foot down if you want to. Breathe out as you extend away. Breathe in as you come back. Head is in line with the spine. This is a strength exercise for the shoulder girdle and the back. Just do one more either side and then have a stretch. Okay, bringing yourself to sitting with the feet wide. Now take the feet as wide as you can, but that's going to be different for everybody. You can flex the feet here if you want to. You can draw the soles of the feet together if you prefer. Just make sure you're sitting tall and you're on the seat bones. Torso twist. Shoulder blades stabilized and retracted. As you breathe out, you turn. Hands are folded across the chest. Don't overthink the arms. They're not up in the air, but at the same time, they're not touching into the rib cage. Exhale as you turn. Inhale as you release. Particularly if you've got any niggles in the back, just rest whenever suits you. You can tuck into a little ball to rest. And then you can always come back to the movement. You're using the core to sit tall and the muscles in the back. This is strength and mobility. And release. Bring the feet together and reach forwards over the legs for a stretch. Okay, we're going to do some strength work through the tummy, and we're going to do a roll back. But I'm not expecting you to go all the way to the floor. Just go as far as feels comfortable, where your core is engaged and you can feel this tension through the tummy muscles. So as you breathe out, you roll back. As you breathe in, you release. But make sure it's nice and slow. Sit up tall in between each one. Exhale, drop the rib cage to the hip, not the chin. Not that you drop the chin to the hip, but you know what I mean? Don't drop the chin down to the chest. Now how far you go is up to you. As long as you take your time coming up and you're using your abdominal muscles to control the movement. If you feel you can go all the way down, that's fine, then do. But don't worry if you can't. I'm not expecting that. The important thing is that you take your time. The movement is controlled using the abdominals, particularly as you come back up. Try to make sure you're not swinging up on the hips. Good, that's lovely on hangouts. Now on the next one, we can come all the way down to the floor. Have a stretch, doing a don't shoot stretch, 90 degrees in at the elbow, 90 degree under the arm. Just allow that to sink towards the floor, but don't force it if it doesn't want to go. Then the hands come towards you. Feet come towards you one at a time, and we can do a single leg shoulder bridge. So cross right foot over left. Just let that knee relax out to the side. Don't push it or the hip will twist. Hips stay straight in line, and we're going to tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glute on the left leg, and peel the back away from the floor, squeezing up through the glute here, and slowly come back down one vertebra at a time. tilt, peel. Make sure the hips stay level as you come up. And try to come back down one vertebra at a time. We're going to do 6. This is my 3rd one, so if you haven't been counting, you can come with me. And your timing is with your breathing. Breathe out as you lift, or lift as you breathe out, actually. Same thing, but you know what I mean. Make sure the head and neck is straight. Trying to work on that reconnection, one vertebra at a time. And when you've done 6, change leg. So we are using the core here to stabilize. Make sure when you change leg that you bring the heels, the feet are hip width apart again. Don't let that foot come to the center. And we take left foot up onto right. Squeeze the glute before you come up. Now you might find you're a little bit better on one side than another. Perfectly normal. And remember, we're really working on that peeling action. Squeeze through the glute on the right leg now. Hips stay level. And work on the control of the movement. Controlling the move from A to Z and back. So 6 on one side, 6 on the other. If you're feeling any niggle through the back, don't come up too high. But when you've done your 6, we can do a hamstring stretch. So first of all, hug the knee in towards the chest, using the kneecap, not the shin, just one foot's fine. Then take the hands to the ankle and extend the leg up, but tail down. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg there. And then change to the other side, knee in, extend up, tail down. If you feel you want to lift the upper body to get a little bit straighter on that leg, you can do. Just make sure the tail is down and you're not pushing off the resting leg. And release. Okay, an exercise that goes really nicely with shoulder bridge is single leg circles. And we're working today with the leg in single leg fold. So 90 degree behind the knee. The other foot is on the floor, heel in line with the seat bone. And just make sure you're not pushing off that foot. Back is in neutral and the core is set to stabilize. You begin to circle the knee. Keeping the hips level, using the core. And we're going to circle 6 times one way. I've done 2. 6 times the other way. And then change leg. So keep this movement nice and flowing. Concentrate on the resting side. So if left leg is circling, be very aware of what's happening to the right hip and the right leg. Back stays in neutral. Almost relax this circling leg And you'll feel this one through the thighs. That's where we're working. 6 one way, 6 the other way. Then change leg. Again, resting foot, make sure it stays in line. It doesn't come to the center to help you balance. Working with the other leg, core engaged, flowing movement, control, precision, breath, and concentration. Make sure your resting leg is light. Don't push down on that, guys. Don't brace yourself. Changing direction after 6. Got that nice alignment on the resting leg, hip, knee, foot, staying still and feeling this in the top of the thigh there as you work. The more relaxed the leg is, the lighter the other leg is, the harder it becomes. Okay, when we've done 6 and 6, straighten the legs and take the arms overhead. Okay, so we did our roll back. We're going to pair that up with a roll up. So from this position, core sets. As you exhale, hands to ceiling. Then tilt the pelvis, rib cage towards hips. Come up as high as you can. You don't have to come all the way up if you don't want to. And come down. And come all the way up, brilliant. Sit tall in between each one, exactly the same way we did with our roll back. Shoulder blades stabilized in this seated position. But if you can't get up, don't worry, don't stress, don't force it. Nice and smooth and controlled. This is a strength exercise for the abdominals. Pelvic floor stays engaged. Keep this movement strong. That's what we're doing. Couple more. Rest when you need. Feeling that lactic acid building up through the tummy. So that's the burn through the muscles. So the last one we're going to do, I'd like you to stay seated. And then stretch over the legs, flex the feet, take a hold of the toes and stretch the back. like a ball. If you don't like this one, pelvic tilts are a good alternative, or cat and cow that we did at the start of the class. So we're trying to focus on the flow of the roll, so the smoothness of the roll. So we're tucking rib cage to hip and concentrating on trying to get this really smooth. That's it, Ruth, good. Think about the position of the legs, so trying to get knee to foot parallel to the floor in your starting position and finishing position. And you're trying to actually keep the angle the same behind the knees, all the way through. You can make this a bit harder by not holding on to the backs of the legs. Trying to maintain the same distance, knee to chest, while keeping the smoothness of movement. You can also stretch fingertips towards the ankles when you come to your rest. Woo. And then we can take a rest. You can do a full body stretch, or we can sit, legs straight, open the chest towards the ceiling, stretching through the abdominals. And then come onto your side for me, please. So 90-degree clown. Grab a drink if you've got one. Good point, Rose. I need to do that myself. Okay, 90 degrees with the knees, 90 degree at the hip, and we've got our clam. So the head is in line with the spine, ear in line with the shoulder. As you breathe out, the knee lifts. As you breathe in, the knee lowers. And really try and keep that knee floating. So there's no stop, no start to this movement. And the hips stay still. So try not to let the hip roll back. Lift the knee as high as you can. If you want to make this a little bit harder, lift the whole leg rather than just the knee. So the foot goes too. That's it, Ruth. Foot stays in line with the knee as you lift. Without the hip rolling back. Strength exercise for the glutes here. Abductors. If it gets a bit much, go back to feet together. Always rest, then do a few more. And then we can take a rest, drop the knee in front for a stretch, drop the shoulder back to increase that stretch a little bit more. The hands could go to the floor behind you to go even further with that stretch. Okay, great. From there, we're going to step the knees back a little bit. If you stretch out your hand, your fingertips should just be able to touch the knee. And we're going to do our chest opener, but we're going to work through the shoulder here on this one. So we're going to draw the fingertips up and around. Then open the chest and slowly back. So the knees stay still, hips stay still. Open the chest. So this is a mobility exercise to help improve the range of movement through the lumbar spine. Also opening up through the shoulder here. And then we can release and push ourselves up to sitting. So we will go the other way in a moment, but we're going to do kneeling side kick first of all. Losing my hair. So knee stays under hip, hand behind the head. Onto the fingertips is a little bit easier. And you tap the foot 8 times one side, 8 times the other side, and we'll do this twice. Now you can probably hear I'm in an old conservatory, so the rain gets really noisy on the roof. It's a lovely sound, but if you're wondering what all the background noise is, that's what it is. So you can imagine you're trapped between 2 planes of glass with this one. 8 one way, 8 the other way. And we can do this twice. And then we should finish with the other foot to the end of the mat. Now I did stop halfway through, so I know I'm a bit behind, so I can see Ruth's finished. So we're going to come down onto the other side for our 90-degree climb. Head well supported, core set. As you exhale, lift the knee. As you inhale, lower. Try not to put the full weight of the leg down in between each one. Transverse abdominis pulling in, pelvic floor pulling up. And your timing is with the breath. Really control the movement. Make sure the hips stay still. And if you want to make this harder, you can lift the whole leg. Keep the foot in line with the knee though. And make sure the hip doesn't roll. Almost relax the leg as you work. feel this through the glutes here. Sometimes I can end up feeling it a bit on the calf, so just try to keep the bottom part of the leg relaxed. And then take a rest, drop the knee in front, drop the shoulder back. Oh, lovely stretch through the bottom there. Okay, from here, we draw the knees away a little bit. Just make sure you can touch the knee with the hand. Chest opener where we're draping the arm around the top of the head. Hips stabilized. But you're rotating through the lumbar spine. Make sure the head is well supported, and you naturally end up looking at the ceiling, smooth and controlled. Elbow can stay slightly bent. And then take a rest. Okay, and we're going to come over onto the tummy for me, please. So take your time. I think I will shuffle around a little bit. Grab a drink while you've got the opportunity. Okay. So we're going to do our tipping extension. So we come onto the tummy, and the arms come into like a Cossack dancer sort of position. Head in line with the spine. Feet close, but rotate the heels outwards. Relax the bottom. Set the core. And as you breathe out, you lift one elbow. So you tip onto one side and slowly release. Keep the core set and do the other side. Try not to let the glutes tighten. If that feels a bit too much, bring the hands down either side of you and turn it into a swan dive. Just lift and lower with the chest. Glutes relaxed. You'll feel this in the lower back, to the side you're tipping to. It doesn't need to come very high, particularly if you're keeping the glutes relaxed. And then release. Extend the arms forwards for a stretch. And hold it there. Okay, we are going to come up into a double heel kick position and a prone leg pull position. So elbows under shoulders, tall through the shoulders, nice line from the crown of the head all the way through to the tail. Let's start off with our double heel kick. It comes in for 2 counts, 1, 2, and release. And again, coming in, foot flex, 1, 2, and release. Try not to let the hips lift away from the floor on that one. Legs long and strong as you release. If you don't like that on your knee, you could change it to a lengthen and a hover and a release. It's quite a small move, it's quite difficult to say. It's just like the bridge of the foot comes off the floor. Okay, let's do our prone leg pull, and then we can put the two of these together. Core set, and you peel the hips away from the floor. And then slowly release, using the abdominal muscles to control. So Ruth, make sure that doesn't pull in the back. Tummy muscles are really strong and engaged. Peel away. The last piece to come away is the pubic bone. If you did want to make this harder, but not if your back's playing up at the minute, you could tuck your toes under and come up onto a full leg. But remember, we're using the tummy muscles to lift. You're not pushing off the arms. Then take a rest. And we can put both of these together, and we'll do it 6 times. So double heel kick, then your prone leg pull. Stay tall through the shoulders on that double heel kick. Peel away with your prone leg pull. It's a variation of a leg pull. So your leg pull, you should feel through the abdominals. Heel kick, feel quite tight on the quads, backs of the legs, and lower back. I'm creeping down my mat, I can feel it. So I'm going to do one more. And then we're going to sit back for a praying stretch so we can stretch out through the shoulders. I had a pretty heavy gym session today on the upper body, so my shoulders, oh, they need a stretch. Okay, so from there we're going to come back down onto the tummy and we're going to do some work with the legs, see what else we've got. We're doing well for time though. I'll just pop my music back on again. So grab a drink and then we'll cut back down onto the tummy. So with this one, arms are in a don't shoot position, feet hip width apart, pubic bone down, core set. As you breathe out, this will be in the glutes. Glutes will engage, and we're trying to lift and lengthen the legs without squashing the belly button down towards the floor, and slowly release. Exhale, extend and lift. Inhale, release. Try not to let the position of your pelvis change. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can lift the arms as well. But all you're really doing is taking the arms off the floor. So try to keep the pelvis still. Head in line with the spine. So you'll feel this through the hamstrings and the glutes. Across the shoulders as well. Rest whenever you need. So you're trying to stay as still as possible from the crown of the head to the tail. Then take rest, stretch forwards with the arms, walk away with the toes. Then we're going to place the head into the hands and we're going to do our pelvic floor exercises. So as you breathe out, I would like you to draw up through the pelvic floor. And as you breathe in, I would like you to release the pelvic floor. Don't push, just release. So the pelvic floor attaches pubic bone to tailbone, holding everything up where it's supposed to be. So you're drawing up between the legs like an internal elevator. Try and keep your movement, that lift, the same pace as your breath. Now we can hold the pelvic floor lifted for a breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Sorry, I got that wrong. So you hold for one breath. Exhale and lift. Hold for a breath. Inhale and lower. Let's hold for 2 breaths. Exhale, lift and hold. As you breathe in and out twice. Then as you breathe in, release. Let's hold for 3 breaths. Last stage. So you're holding the pelvic floor contracted for a good few seconds here. 3 natural breaths. Then you're releasing as you inhale, same pace as your breath. Make sure you don't lose that contraction. You're holding, lifted. And release. Come up into child's pose. Hands go behind you. Tucking into a ball, rounding through the back. Then we're going to step forwards with your right leg and sink into a hip flexor stretch. The knee is over the ankle, hands either side of the foot. If it's a bit uncomfortable on the left knee, just take that left knee a touch away from the floor. Stay low though. Square the hips off, right hip back, left hip forwards. And then sit back. Right leg straightens now, foot lifts. Again, square the hips off, right hip back, left hip forwards. Lower over that leg, but keep the chest lifted. You should feel that stretch through the hamstring. Now I'd like you to slide this right leg out to the side. So we're in a almost a 3-point kneeling position. Right leg's extended out, the toe is pointing away from you. Don't overthink the foot. Cat and cow, round the back up like an angry cat and drop the back out like a sway-backed cow. You'll feel that draw through the groin and the inner thigh. And again, cat and cow. Loosening up through the hip. And then we can change to the other leg coming forwards, hip flexor. Don't let that knee come too far forwards. Square the hips off, so left hip back, right hip forwards. Feel that stretch through the hip underneath here. And then we're going to take the weight back, wiggle the foot forwards, Lift the foot on the front, left leg. Lower over that leg, but lift the chest. Don't let the left knee bend if you can help it. Square the hips off, left hip back, right hip forwards. Then we're going to slide that foot out to the side, or just do a quarter turn. For cat and cow, just take it to the edge of your range of movement. And then bring yourself to sitting. We're going to straighten the legs, just a little bit wider than hip width apart. Don't need to go too wide. Sit nice and tall, arms extend out in front of you, and you're going to reach forwards, fingertips past the toes if you can, towards the toes. Just stop where it works for you. Pop the fingertips onto the toes if you can, or wrap them around the feet and hold it there. If it feels okay, you can ease yourself a little bit lower, but be careful and hold. And release. Take the hands behind you. Feet come close. Lift the chest. Stretching through the chest and shoulders. Point the toes. Then flex the feet. And again, point the toes. And flex the feet. One more. Point and flex. And release. Just cross the feet, one hand down beside you, reaching up tall, and tip into a side bend. Then we can change to the other side, one hand down for a little bit of support. Tall with the arm, then tip. Good, and release. Lovely. Onto the hands and knees. Take your time to come up. Then we take the feet wide, arms wide. We can do that double arm circle, bending the knees into a plie. And then fingertips wiggle, a hug and a squeeze, and a pat on the back.